Have you ever felt so alone in the world, as if no one could understand the depths of your pain or the battles you face within? That crushing solitude, where even the noise around you fades into a distant hum, leaving you with nothing but your own thoughts. What if I told you that loneliness isn't something to fear, but a doorway to a profound discovery? This is the story of a young monk who found this truth, and with it, a power no one ever taught him to seek. Long ago, in a small mountain village wrapped in mist and silence, there lived a young monk named Tale. Tale was known for his kind heart and a gentle spirit, but inside, he carried a heavy weight of loneliness. Despite living in a monastery surrounded by brethren, he often felt unseen and misunderstood. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the rugged peaks and the world seemed to hold its breath, Tale wandered into the forest alone. The quiet was so complete it seemed to press against his ears until all he could hear was the pounding of his own heart. Sitting beneath a wide old tree, Tale whispered to himself, "Why do I feel so alone when there are so many around me? Am I meant to walk this path by myself?" As if the forest itself answered, a rustling sound came from the branches above. Startled, Tale looked up and saw a small fox with eyes gleaming like lanterns in the dusk. The fox didn't run away. Instead, it curled up beside him calmly. "Why do you linger here, little one?" Tale asked softly. To his surprise, the fox spoke in a voice gentle yet clear. "I am alone as you are. But I have learned that being alone is different from loneliness." "Have you?" Tale blinked in disbelief but felt no fear. "How can they be different? I have never felt so lonely." The fox nodded. "Loneliness is a shadow our mind casts when we forget who we truly are. Being alone is simply the state of being without others. But when you know yourself, true company loses its shape, and solitude doesn't weigh on your spirit." Tale listened intently, the wise words wrapping around his heart like a warm cloak. "But I don't know myself well enough. I don't even know who I want to be." The fox smiled, its eyes like stars in the night. "That is the greatest journey of all, not finding yourself but creating yourself through the moments of silence and stillness. In loneliness, you have the chance to meet the deepest parts of your soul without distraction." Tale felt a strange stirring inside, as if a locked door had just creaked open. He asked, "And what if I am afraid of what I find there?" Fear is the mind's way of protecting what it thinks it knows, but real courage is the gentle act of looking inside anyway, whether you find light or shadow. Because in that act, you claim your power. Days turned into weeks, and the visits from the fox became a quiet ritual. Each encounter brought new questions and a growing sense of peace within Tale. He began spending time alone, not as a punishment or a retreat, but as a sacred space to listen to his own heart. One day, as they sat together watching the clouds drift like slow ships in the sky, Tale said, "I was afraid loneliness would break me, but I feel more whole than ever." The fox nodded. "When you embrace solitude, you stop starving for others' approval and start nourishing your own soul. Then, whether surrounded by many or by none, you are never truly alone." But the greatest lesson came unexpectedly. One morning, Tale awoke to find the fox gone. The forest was quiet again, without its luminous eyes or comforting presence. At first, a wave of loneliness crashed over him. Yet, as he sat beneath the old tree where they first met, a serene realization blossomed like a morning flower. He remembered the fox's words about creating himself in moments of stillness. He understood now that the fox was never really separate. This wise companion had been part of his own heart, a symbol of the courage and love he was learning to carry within himself. And in that moment, the loneliness transformed. It was not a hollow space, but a sacred room inside where Tale could return again and again to find strength, love, and boundless peace. This story reminds us of a powerful truth. Loneliness is not a curse to hide from, but an invitation to meet ourselves deeply. In our moments of quiet solitude, we find the voice that has been waiting all along, our true self. So the next time you feel alone, don't reach outward in desperation. Instead, turn inward with gentle kindness. Embrace the silence. The company you seek is already inside, waiting patiently to be discovered. Remember this. You will never feel alone again, not because the world around you changes, but because the world inside you blooms with a friendship that lasts forever.